This ugly guy up here.
Well, what's my name?
Yeah. What's my name?
Here's the question, right? In an antivirus scene, right? Self-mutating encryption generators and stuff have been like there for a long time. But for example, like if you're doing like an enterprise-wide scan, and then an antivirus scan taking 30 minutes is not a problem, but an IDS is like more or less real time. So there is a practical inherent limitation in modus of operandi when it comes to IDSs and antivirus software. So what I'm trying to say is that the techniques you present here would have actually a practical limit when it comes to detection in terms of antivirus or IDS software. So what do you think about that?
Man, I've got some serious power problems over here. Hold on, sorry. I just need to...
I mean, you can analyze shit, but you can't drop brackets, right?
You can, right? And I mean, another benefit of exploits in the wild using this kind of technology is that it's going to increase the processing power to identify what's going on here, right? Yeah. And I mean, I've got things like, holy Jesus, man. So I mean, I've got things that like, there's occasionally the need to like exploit something like, hundreds of thousands of times per second or whatever, right? Like if you need to brute force an offset of like a respawning daemon or whatever, right? And you've got only a small window to attack in. I seed the random number generator with the current time in seconds, and then I add to that the current your tick register, or the lower 32 bits of your tick register, your CPU. So I mean, if you've got, I really don't see any way feasible, like at all, that anyone could predict what is going to come down the pipe if you're seeding with your tick register, because for one, they're not going to know your time, and two, like the interval between at which you're going to re-enter the function and you're going to grab the tick register is always going to be slightly different on a multitasking operating system, right? So I mean, at one time it might have taken like 500,000 cycles, another time it took like 500,001 cycles, and that's just enough to like generate something different. Joy?
Another question, like stuff like McAfee antivirus and Dr. Solomon antivirus has actually addressed these issues in terms of antivirus in the past, but in the future, don't you see like there's a fundamental challenge you have answered here? When it comes to real time, you can't do this shit anymore because there's so much processing power involved. So in other words, you're like, like strike one for like IDS software and...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the amount of processing power that's going to be required to identify... Joy was alluding to the fact that this is a paradigm shift in exploit development, right? And if currently everybody's relying on these really stupid exploits that go out, right? Like stupid viruses that like, infect your boot sector and that's it, sit there memory resident. But as soon as polymorphism came along, it's kind of like enabled the viruses to have this endless cat and mouse game, going around in circles forever. And, that's still going on today. So, I mean, theoretically, this can go on for a longer period of time. And, the amount of processing time that you're going to have to do to analyze the data that as it comes across the wire, especially with high speed, like gigabit, like IDSs can just barely handle gigabit right now. So, I mean, I really can't see them handling gigabit and doing virtually any processing on the data. I know. Put it up here on my box. We'll detect it right now. Yeah. Okay. And again, everybody, remember to tune your values. So you all have your custom copy. Okay. It's in the structure. It's the last member. It's the last integer in the decoder structure, in the junk structure. Just as a hint. I've got a demonstration here that I intend to show. It might have some surprising results. I've got ReallySecure, ReallySecure coming here to analyze this. You'll all really be really secure from now on. Okay. Here we've got the ReallySecure console. Okay. Whoever the next speaker is, come up here and beat me if you really want to talk, because I don't know how I'm doing for time. How, 20 minutes? Okay, I'm just going to grandstand for 20 minutes if I can. Okay, I'll just be a second. I'm going to set this up here. Okay. Essentially what I'm going to go over here is a couple of exploit attempts from this Linux box to this Linux box in this stupid hub down here. They're all kind of connected with this ReallySecure box over here. Stupid. Okay, let's see here. Oh, okay. What I'm doing here is I'm going to imitate the IMAP protocol and, you know, some kind of integer login space. You log in data. Quotes, there's some quotes around that login data, and then you say pass. This is what, you know, a typical IMAP exploit would look like. And I mean, I'm sure we've all seen those before. So I'm going to attack my box over here with my vulnerable IMAP, and we'll see what over here, what ReallySecure does about it. Oh, whoops. Here's the new version. Okay, ReallySecure did its job and secured us. Thank you, ReallySecure. This product does actually work. You know, suspicious TCP packet from the address here. Essentially, what I'm going to do is go through. Here's. Let me give you a little background on why I'm, you know, going up against ReallySecure here. Initially, after the CanSec conference or DERSEC, like www.dersec.com, everyone started chatting about this a little bit, right? And they're like, hey, you know, blah blah blah. ISS released this big advisory saying, hey, we're not vulnerable. This doesn't work. I responded back and I said, hey, yes you are. Could you please send me, this is my quote up here, I had asked for some technical details, TCP logs, etc., of an attack that was detected, but none could be provided. I have put it through some testing, and I have found that it is most definitely vulnerable to these techniques. Okay? These were kind of taken out of context and responded back to this ISS.net mailing list here by, let's see here, Tim Farley at ISS. Thank you, Tim. He took me out of context here. See, later on here he's going, oh, this guy, me, admits he doesn't know what ReallySecure is supposed to detect in the first place. Hence the request for the TCP logs. No, Tim. I'm asking for these logs so that I can verify what the hell is going on and verify that you guys actually did some work. But none could be provided, and that's what I meant, that, you know, he concludes that because it didn't detect something he threw in front of it, it must be vulnerable. No, no, no. Well, yeah, man. I don't know. Anyway, he goes on here to, I mean, okay, this product does detect a lot of stuff, okay? I don't want to, you know, give him too bad of a name here, but, you know, it does detect buffer overflows just like he's saying. It has a generic buffer overflow signature which attempts to identify hex 90 in your data. But as we saw just now over here, it actually has a specific IMAP signature. It's not the generic Intel signature. I can show you.